In managing the time period that is available to us, you also have to know who you are. You have to understand your person and your personality. Some people are early birds. They are most productive first thing in the morning. If you know that you belong to that group, obviously you want to be able to wake up in the early hours of the morning and do the most important things for the day, because that's when you're most productive. If you know you like to sleep late, in the morning, obviously it means you must work late in the evening to make up for it. Time has a balancing factor, because the one you do not take care of, you always pay for somewhere else. You have instances of people that work, especially in maybe like a banking industry and all that. You get to the office in the morning, but because of the false environment that we live in, a lot of people want to appear to be working hard by staying at work till very late hours of the day. And therefore they spend the whole day doing nothing, really. Just sort of mingling around and wasting time. And in the evening, to extend the hours that they're at work, they only begin to do tangible work, or do nothing and just sit down and waste away their time. And nobody leaves until the boss leaves. If we can only understand that time is so expensive, we will not fritter it away on frivolities. You would realize that within your 24 hours, as a responsible man or woman, you have responsibilities to your business, to your career, you have responsibilities to your wife, to your children, you have other responsibilities depending on what you have committed to. And that's another thing. We tend not to realize the limitation of time and the fact that we have only a limited credit of time to our account every day. And in wanting to impress other people, or in not being bold enough to say no, we take upon ourselves more responsibilities than we're actually capable of carrying out, or do we have the time to, and in the course of it we kill ourselves. Also because we do not know how to prudently manage time. We gain time for one thing at the expense of another. Any man that goes to work first thing in the morning and works till very late in the evening and only gets home to sleep is becoming a superstar at work at the expense of his home, at the expense of his wife and his children, and at the expense of his future, because his family is his future. There is no man that has worked, who has had long life, that has not had to retire to come back to face his home, which is his final resting place. And if you were not a part of building that home, other than putting money down, you would find that you've lost the most important part of your life. Sometimes by the time you come back, there is no home. There's a house, but there is no home. No wife and no children. Everybody has found other ways to build themselves without you. And it's a vicious cycle. A man is too busy building up his career and building up his business when his children are growing up. And so as the children try to spend time with him, he doesn't have time to spend with them. And then he gets to his older years and he's retired and he has more time now, and he's trying to do what he was supposed to what he was supposed to do when the children were young. He's trying to do it now, and he calls up his son and says, "Guess what? I'd like us to spend some time together this weekend." The boy says, "Oh, I'm sorry, Dad. I'm busy. I've got things to do." "Oh, I'm sorry, Dad. I've got a meeting to attend." "Oh, I'm sorry, Dad. I'm out of the country this weekend." You can't change the order of time. You've got to spend time at the appointed time. See, you keep using time to define time. You have to use time judiciously, efficiently, and do that which is right in the season of the time for which it is meant for. What you eat for breakfast is a little different from what you eat for lunch or what you eat for dinner. If at 10 p.m. at night you decide, I'm hungry, go and pound yam. Give me a dikaikon. Give me ogbono. Give me bokoto and whatever, goat's meat, and you sit down and you eat a heavy meal. It's your money, it's your food. You have the right to choose what you want to eat. Are you going to sleep that night? No. It's the wrong food for the wrong time of day. If at 10 a.m. in the morning, you sit down to cereal and all that, it will be the appropriate food. If you eat yam, if you eat beans, if you eat light, easy to digest food in the morning, you'll have the energy to move. But if you eat pounded yam early in the morning as well, you will find that you're not able to move during the day. And so most of that day, you will not be very active. But if you spend the good hours of your money doing useful work, and at your lunch time, that you have about an hour and a half or so, you go and sit down, even if you eat pounded yam or whatever, and you take a little time to rest and allow a little of it to digest, and then you go back to work, you will still be productive because you got the time of day for the food to digest before the end of the day. Time is an expensive currency. The management of it, the decision-making process and the use of it, the prudent and effective use of it will determine if you succeed or if you fail. If when your mates are already in the university, you're still in secondary school, you're already losing time. If when your mates are already moving on to certain levels of business or certain stages in life, you're just starting, there will be certain factors. If you're in full-time employment and you have a desire to go into your own business and you don't gauge the time properly, and you decide to retire at 50 or at 60 and start a business, it will be a little more difficult. Now, if you've worked and in your 30s, or maybe even in your early 40s, you retire and you start, you still have the energy to move and to build up. But it's more challenging when you wait till later. Not always true, because it depends on the time and the season that God has allocated for each man. So you would find out that to get the most and the best of your time, in line with the purpose and the God and the callings of God upon your life, you actually need God. Because someone made a plan. Someone set out the purpose for your life. Someone set out the sequence of your life. You discover it as you move forward on a day-to-day basis. Somebody knew it in advance, and only that person, called God, knows it in advance. And if you're the kind of person that has a one-on-one relationship with God, respect and honor for God, and therefore you involve Him in the process of determining how you spend your time, you will get the most out of time because you get the extra advantage of foreknowledge as the Lord guides you to do that which is right at the right time in order to achieve the best or the most possible of what you want to do. Brian Tracy says, time management is really personal management, life management, and management of yourself. To manage time is to manage yourself, to manage your life, and to manage your personality. So you must find the right mix of the function of who you are, with what you want to do, with the goals you have set to achieve. And all of that, remember, must be done within a limited currency of time. 24 hours only in a day given to you. You cannot draw in advance from the time of the future for yourself. Not possible. Not can you say, I have wasted so much time in the past. I want to be credited with the time lost. Lost and lost forever. Don't waste time. Because every time you waste is truly your life wasted. There are no two ways about it. It's a hard truth, but it is reality. Who do you know that has lived, that has not died? No matter how important, no matter how productive, no matter how rich, no matter how poor. The day of your birth is the beginning of time. The day of your death is the end of time for you. And time is an individual issue. Every individual is accountable for their time. And the record of their life is the record of the management, of their management of the time allocated to them. Who can tell you exactly how much time you have? No one. There is certainty for all men. Life is but for a season for all men. And therefore time is only for a season for all men. And based on what your desires, your dreams, and your aspirations are, you will be prudent with the management of time. There's certain skills you can acquire that would help you. You can develop the habit of writing down your goals for the day. You can set targets for the year. You can set targets for certain stages of your life. Who can ensure that you achieve those targets? You. By your prudent management of all the factors around you. You can choose to do what you need to do as opposed to gossiping or sitting and just gisting away your time. You can choose to control your time by not becoming a slave of your telephone. One great time stealer is our phone. Especially now in a country like ours, that GSM is still a novelty. Everybody has a phone. And everybody wants to spend time on their phone. It's okay if they choose to spend their time on their phone. But what's not okay, if you allow other people to use their own choice to spend their time on their phone, to force you to spend your time on your phone, because they have chosen to spend their time on the phone. Some people will allow people to call them when they're at the dinner table with their family. They're stealing from your family time. Some people will answer call no matter how late in the night, when they're in their room and having a private time with their wife, having a discussion, which ensures quality relationship, communication. They're not just talking to you, they're stealing from the time of your life. Some people are out with their children, but half the time that we should spend getting to know our children, we're on the phone. The person that is talking to us, or the people talking to us, are stealing from the time allocated to our children. Many of us are on holidays, and our phones go on holidays with us. And therefore, we end up never being on holidays. We've only changed location. If you move from Nigeria to London, and your phone is roamed, and everybody that you ordinarily would have spoken to in Nigeria can still call you on your phone in England and talk to you, you might as well not have left, because it will be cheaper for you. To answer the call in Nigeria will be cheaper than answering the call at the expensive rates of roaming. But we do it. Some allow people to steal from their time of sleep through telephones. Your mechanic can call you at any time. Your electrician can call you at any time. Some people that cannot enter the gates of your house can enter into your most private hour through your telephone. A lot of us don't realize it. But one tool that is useful in our daily lives, but is a highly used tool of stealing time from us, is our telephone. We have to take charge of the process of managing our time on phone. We have to be the one that dictates how we give access through our phones. We do not allow the time to be stolen from us by the other party. When you do that, you cede control out. Another thing is, half the time we don't start some things we want to do because we think the time required for it is too long. There's a Chinese saying that the journey of 1,000 years will start with the first step. And only by taking the first step can you hope to ever complete that journey. Earl Nightingale says, don't let the fear of the time it will take to accomplish something stand in the way of your doing it. The time will pass anyway. We might just as well put that passing time to the best possible use. I have a very, very dear auntie of mine. She was my teacher in school. And she actually was in top position in the ministry and retired as a permanent secretary. At a point in her life, at an advanced age, she got up and said she wanted to read law. And everybody thought it was a joke. Especially because she was going to go to Unilag and go in for the part-time law degree. And then the part-time law degree was 6 years. I don't know if it's still 6 years or still on. And it was like, 6 years? How? At this age? How can you, if you go in at 50, you're not going to come out till you're 56. And it looked like forever. But don't forget, whether you do that which you want to do or not, time will pass anyway, is a definite fact. Every day the sun will rise and every evening it will set. And once it sets, there goes the day. Until the next morning. And against all odds, she went in and started that program. Now, it's so many years after. She's already graduated so many years ago. She has retired from the ministry where she was working while she joined that program. She's now retired practicing as a lawyer. By taking the time, even at that age, to go and take a law degree at an advanced stage of her life for someone who was already successful in her own career. She retired into a different professional life and has kept her busy and occupied. After retiring, many times we allow time to intimidate us. And by allowing time to intimidate us, we don't make the most of time. I remember when I was going to go for an MBA, it was like, 16 months, you're going to leave your business, you're going to do this. Even I at the beginning looked at the time and thought, wow, can I survive this at this stage of my life? Can I afford this 16 months? But I had made a decision and I went in for the program. Soon enough, it was over. I have people like over a year and a half, 2 years after I finished program asking me, oh, have you finished that your program? I'm like, I finished since, and I went that quickly. Yes, time is quicker than you think. So when you sit down assuming that you have all the time in the world, soon enough you sleep when you wake up. And it's calm. The way you use time will determine how much you are able to accomplish within your time frame. It is expensive. It's the most expensive currency on the face of the earth. Time. It's irreplaceable. It cannot be recreated. Scientists have no solution to it. You can't buy it. And when you realize it is so expensive, then you would realize that you must look at yourself and find the best way to get the most out of time. When you look at yourself and look at what your strengths are, you must accept your weaknesses and not spend and not waste a lot of your time trying to prove yourself in areas of your weaknesses. Accept your weaknesses. Use your strengths to your advantage. Delegate your weaknesses to those that have strengths in your weakness, and therefore achieve more within the time that you have. A leader is nothing but a man or a woman that knows how to use the best people for the best assignment within the best time frame. He takes the credit as the leader of the team, but the actual work has been done by the people that have allowed to apply their strengths, to apply themselves in the areas of their strengths, to the benefit of the group or of the team. Time is expensive. Managing it is our responsibility and our task.